have made it back from my cruise. I am trying to get you guys a video, and I just thought, you know what, let me just start from the beginning. I'll probably have to link it into another video, but if you're interested in my very first cruise ever at the age of over 50, we'll just leave it at that, my thoughts and everything, stay tuned for this video. It's probably going to be a hot mess because I have tried to do a video that was sent to me on some stuff that I was going to haul for you guys. It was a bestie haul, but I could not. It was an Android phone and I couldn't figure it out for the life of me. So I'll just have to pop in some pictures the best that I can and just talk to you about how the trip was. So of course I went on a Carnival cruise. Got my last name hidden right there. I was on deck 1, room 1253, and we left on November the 1st, which basically kicked off what I'm going to call my birthday month. So this was kind of like a gift to myself. I always wanted to do this. I always wanted to go on a cruise. I was really thinking about doing one for Mom, my mother. If you're not, always watch me out. My mom's birthday is coming up in May of next year, and she's going to be 75, right? Wow. Time is just going by so fast. And she had mentioned a Disney cruise, and I was kind of pricing them, and I was like, wow. And I knew we would probably do at least maybe a 5 to 7 day cruise. And I was like, man, I probably need to try to see if I can do a little cruise before I get on a big Disney cruise. So I say all that to say this, is that my friend, and her name is Teresa. I don't think she minds me telling you her name. She basically, we met and became really good friends. And I think she's traveled 9 or 10 times already. Matter of fact, she should be going on another Christmas kind of cruise in December coming up very, very shortly. But basically, she had booked a cruise, and she, said if I wanted to go in half on it, it was an opportunity to do it. And I kept thinking, and I said, well, when will I ever do it? Because everybody that I would ask, my friends, my family, they didn't have the money, they didn't have the time, they couldn't get off of work or whatever, or some of them just didn't want to go cruising. They weren't ready for that or whatever. So I just took the opportunity, and yes, I went on my first cruise on Carnival. So let's back up a little bit. And like I said, this is going to be a chatty video. I'm going to pop in, some, footage as I can. But the first thing that I want to talk about is preparing for the actual cruise. So because it was 20 something degrees, no, I don't know if it was that cold, but it was freezing cold, like the 2 or 3 days right before I got to fly out, because I had to fly. I didn't have to fly, I could have drove, but I chose to fly to New Orleans, and that's where we were going to, I guess, get on the ship. I guess it's called where you board the ship, right? And I had not flown in like 20 plus years. Really nervous about that. And I also was not wanting to pay any extra for any extra luggage, because I know how it is trying to haul. The more luggage you have, the worse it's going to be on you. So I was trying to keep it down to 2 pieces. Delta had the thing where you could bring, your carry-on and 1 personal luggage. And I had crammed so much in there, I had to repack 4 times. And I still overpacked. And you guys even told me I was going to overpack. And long story short, I just basically felt like if I would have known what I know now, it would have been a little bit better on me for 2 things. Because when you're going in the winter into a Caribbean kind of type of thing, that's basically, we were going to Cozumel, Mexico, and Progreso. And I'm going to show you some things here in a minute that'll get into that. But it was hot. It was going from a cold climate to a hot climate. And supposedly when I got back, it was supposed to be cold, but it actually wasn't. So I'm packing, a jacket and things like that. And I'm trying to figure out clothes that, I can make sure I have that are going to be warm. I just put everything I can think of. I watched a bunch of videos on YouTube thinking that's going to tell me what to do. I asked questions to Teresa, and I was just like, oh my gosh, it was very stressful. But on top of that, I had been going through something with my psoriatic arthritis. I think I'm pronouncing that right. I don't even know. It's either that or sciatica, but my right leg had been giving me fits. It just was achy. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be getting on this ship and I'm going to be hurting. So I was like thinking ahead of the game, right? First thing, I went to the doctor and I got the patch for seasickness because I didn't know, you don't know till you know, right? And she prescribed me the patch, which was one you stick behind your ear it was like one patch lasts for like 3 days. And she gave me 3 of them, which would be a 9-day total kind of thing. I also got some Dramamine. I ordered it off Amazon and had it sent in a little, bottle in case that, I needed more, something else in case the patch didn't work or whatever, because I didn't know, right? And the second thing was I did make an appointment to go see the doctor the same day that I flew out. And they gave me a cortisone. I call it a cortisol shot, but I'm not really sure what it was. But it was for the tenderness, the tendon. It was some kind of steroid, but not the one supposedly that makes you want to eat everything or whatever. So I have the night before that shot, which was basically the day before Halloween, October the 30th. I'll get here in a moment, guys. I'm trying to remember this all in my head. October the 30th. I put the patch on, and when I put it on, I thought, okay, it's on, hopefully it'll start kicking in or whatever, and I will be prepared for when I get on the ship the following, in a couple of days. Well, I took a shower, and it washed right on off, and I thought, really? I said, I thought they were supposed to be like really, good, where you can wash your hair and take a shower, and, they're not going to mess with you and get in the pool and all that stuff like that. Well, apparently I didn't stick it on right, or it didn't have enough sticky to it or whatever, and I had to get a second patch. But I decided to wait because I knew I was going to have this shot the next day on Halloween, early in the morning, and I said, I'll wait till after I have that shot, and then I'll go put the patch on, and I'm going to go back and, get everything together, because I was going to try to head to the airport around 2 o'clock because my flight was scheduled to leave around 4:30. And I just wanted to get there a little bit earlier because I had no clue what on earth I was going to do. And I say all that to say this. It's a building up to it. First of all, I think I was a little stressed because of the packing. I was stressed because I was a little nervous about flying. I was a lot nervous about cruising. I'm meeting a friend that I haven't really seen a lot, but just once or twice. I've only seen her like one other time. We've talked on the phone a lot. So I knew we were going to have, that kind of getting to know period. Plus, we were also trying to do other things in New Orleans. We were going to do some sightseeing and things like that. But it was like everything was just against the whole start for me. I'm going to say for me. I don't know if it was for Teresa. I can't talk for her. I can just tell you what was going on for me. So when I got out of the doctor, I put the patch on, and it was probably about 9:30 in the morning. And got to the airport, got all my stuff together. My daughter dropped me off at the airport around 2. Actually, it was a little bit closer to 2:30. I got out, and I was like, okay, what do I do? So I walked to the first person that I see, and he's somebody with clear. And you guys that fly and travel a lot, probably what I'm talking about. And he's talking about there's some promotion, blah, blah, blah. It costs $209 for the membership. And I'm like, what? He says, but you can try it for 14 days for free. And, not knowing anything. And he said, and if you, want me to help you go to wherever. And I'm like, yes, I do. So I just signed up for it. It took like all of 2 minutes. And I did have to, hold a credit card with it. And he took me to the I guess it was a TSA security thing. And we went right past it. We went to this little thing. I took a picture, and they scanned my 2 items. And I went up to the floor of where I had to wait for my flight. And sat down. I was like, well, that was pretty easy. It all worked out. I didn't have any issues through security because I was worried about, did I have too much stuff? Were they going to make me pay for an extra baggage? Was it going to weigh? Whatever. But it actually turned out to be pretty good. And when I got through the TSA security, I got on the tram or train and went up to where I needed to go to. Everybody there was exceptional, getting me to where I needed to go. And I sat down, and I started realizing right off the bat, I didn't feel good. I mean, I literally had a sore throat. I had nasal drippage. I felt nausea. I felt sick to my stomach. And I was like talking to people on the phone, and realizing that my flight didn't get delayed not once, not twice, not 3 times, but 4 times. I don't know what the heck was going on with Delta that day, but I was at the airport from like 2:30 all the way to 10:05. That's when I got on the plane. And by that time, by about 8 o'clock, from 2 to 8, I was thinking to myself, I'm thinking I have the flu, because I had all the symptoms of the flu. And I need to start talking this up because we're going to be here for hours if I don't get going here. But basically, I was sick. And I had at one point told my son, who I had talked to on the phone, because, I was trying to tell everybody, hey, I'm leaving, blah, blah. And luckily, I had enough sense to send the flight information to Teresa. So she kind of knew things were going on. Bless her heart. She had to wait on me all that time. And she never complained, not one time. She was the best host that I could ever imagine as far as being patient, for sure, because I was all over the place. So anyway, told her, I think I might be getting sick, and I don't have anything like NyQuil or anything like that because I can't carry it on. And I hadn't had, I wasn't sick 2 days before, so I didn't know what it was. But I told my son, I think I'm going to take this patch off. And he's like, no, don't do that. You'll get seasick. And I'm like, I don't know, but I can't go. I'm afraid I'm not even going to be able to get on the actual boat. And I'm like, I don't want to mess that up. So I take the patch off right before I get on the flight at 10:05. And then this is another crazy thing. So in New Orleans, they're an hour difference. And I want to say they're an hour ahead. I done forgot. So I'm just going to say it was 10 o'clock. It seems like I got to New Orleans. It should have been like 11 something because it was an hour flight, but it was really 10 because it was an hour ahead of us. And then a couple of days later, the time changed. And then when you were on the boat, there was a ship time. I was so discombobulated. It was crazy town. By the time I came back, I didn't know if I was coming or going. Anyhow, it's actually really funny now that I'm talking about it out loud right now. But the thing is I took the patch off. I got into New Orleans. Teresa picked me up, and we went straight to this cute little Airbnb, which I've already kind of put in little snippets here in a couple of videos, but I'll pop it up here so you can kind of see. It was decorated for Halloween.
I'm not telling anybody where Solon is.
I'm not getting you in it. And it was just really cute. And it was, just for the night. And we had made plans to go do some things that evening, but it was so late and I was tired in that patch. I'm going to say I was allergic to it, but I don't know. That might just be what you do. What happens to you, it just sucks you dry. But I was so glad I took it off because literally after I took that NyQuil the next day on Saturday, which was November 1st, I felt like 80% better. I wasn't 100%, but I could tell I was already feeling like it was going away. So it had to be the patch. So back to Friday, Halloween night. We really didn't do anything because it was so late. We talked a little bit, and I'm going to show you some things that Teresa gave me. Now, we did a whole video. We actually did a whole haul, but we used her phone, and it was on an Android phone. And I'm sure there's a way you can switch it off to get to an iPhone. But for my editing purposes, I spent days trying to figure it out, and I just realized I don't know what I'm doing. We're just going to go and I'm going to rehaul it all again right here for you and kind of give you some highlights of the cruise and tell you what I think. So make sure you stay to the end of this video and make sure you like, share, comment, because guys, this is a first for me, right? So got to the little Airbnb and we did the little haul. And the first thing that, it was in a bag. I will pop up a picture because I got a picture, but I think it has like the, where you can pause it and take the little, if it's moving or playing or something on the picture. I could not get it off to save my life. But you'll see that she gave me this real big bag. And it was a birthday bag and a first cruise bag. And the first thing that I pulled out of that bag was this right here. It was this t-shirt. And guys, this is probably the most comfortable t-shirt I think I've ever worn in my life. It's so soft and it's a V-neck and it actually has this on the front of it that Teresa created, and I'm going to read it to you guys. It says, "Girls Gone Cruising," and it has New Orleans, Cozumel, Progreso on Carnival Valor, November 1st through the 6th, 2025. And she also had a t-shirt as well. And the good thing about it, she knows me. It was really, you know, long. I mean, it was super long. It went way down. I was so glad because I was like, you know, it was really nice and comfortable. I just couldn't believe it. And she had made one, and hers was a different color, but it had the same kind of little thing on here. And she blinged it out, guys. I know you don't really see it much on there, but she blinged it out and put this whole little, you know, touch to it. Teresa, thank you so much. It was just such a sweet start to the actual cruise. But before we get to the cruise part, on Saturday, we weren't going to get on the cruise till like 12:30. We got up, we got out of the Airbnb, and we went straight to a place called Cafe du Monde, if I'm saying that correctly. And we had some beignets, and oh my goodness, I will pop up some pictures up here of that.
Oh, thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome. Thank you. Some of the best beignets that I ever had. So I want to say thank you again, Teresa, for, you know, that experience, because it was so nice. Let's talk about my nervousness at that point. Now, I didn't let, maybe Teresa knew or not. Comment, Teresa, if you did. I don't know if you knew it, but I was extremely nervous. I mean, I was at the point, I knew I didn't have the patch on. I had the Dramamine, but I was, you know, I hadn't taken it. I was just thinking, okay, I'm just going to wing this. If I can, you know, just pray that I'm not going to have any seasickness, it's going to be all right, but I cannot deal with that patch. And I was really super nervous. So she took a little picture right before we got on the ship, and then we walked in. It's like when you get on an airplane, you kind of don't know you're already on there. But when I did, she said, you're on your cruise ship. And I was like, oh my gosh. But continue on with the rest of the stuff that she gave me to haul. I put most of it inside this beautiful bag. And look at this, guys. When I say the pattern on it is just, I love it. I love that the different shades of purple and the baby blues and all the mixtures to it. And then she's got this embroidered W for Wendy. I mean, she made this, guys. I mean, she literally made this and put all this stuff on there herself. And I was just like, oh my gosh. And she even took time to put like little padding on the shoulders. And this came in quite handy lots of times when I was walking around that ship. So let's talk about what else she gave me, because I was blown away. I felt like it was the start of, you know, a real birthday. And when you get older, you don't get a lot of those. So I was very, very, very happy with it. So I'm just going to kind of pull out some stuff and just talk about them real quick and show you. Let's start off with this one right here. And as you know, she used the same kind of pattern, right, for this. And this is, I just love it. I love how she designed it. And it is a little wrinkled because I've had it folded up since I took it out of the washer from the cruise, but it's a little wrinkled, sorry. But she embroidered this with my name, Wendy, and it was a pillowcase. And I used the pillowcase while I was on the cruise. It was so cute. And she also had one of these too on her bed. And also, I have to pop it in here because I couldn't bring it back. It was a blanket, guys. She actually embroidered a W like this one on the blanket in like a little corner of it. It was like I call it a Cinderella blue blanket, and it had like the initials of Wendy. They had the W initial, and I was like, oh my gosh. But my suitcases were so packed. And I'm going to show you the few items that I bought on souvenirs, which was not a lot, but I could not pack it in there. I had no room whatsoever. And literally, she gave me so much stuff. All I can tell you, there was several items that, you know, I could not bring back with me. And Teresa is going to send them to me at some point or another, but I haven't gotten them yet. But one of them was that blanket. Hey guys, it is a future Wendy, aka a Kitty Street, and I'm popping in because I was waiting for this package to come because it does have one of the items that I was talking about in the cruise video that I have already, you know, edited and had ready to go for several weeks now. And I was hoping that I would be able to get this popped in before I actually aired the video. And it is a long one, so, you know, settle down and grab you something to eat, grab you a snack, grab you a drink. You know, it is, and I tried my best to cut it out some here and there, but you know, this is my first cruise. I broke it down from beginning to end. And yeah, so real quickly, I'm going to open up this package, which came from the person I went to as my bestie, Teresa. And she, you know, I couldn't bring everything home, and this is part of some of the stuff that she actually had made for me when I talked about in the beginning. But I'm just going, I don't really know if I'm going to pop this in the middle or the beginning or whatever, but if you see me here, hello, hello, hello. I hope you've been enjoying the video, and it's kind of awkward, but I'm going to show you what she sent, and she said she added something else in here, so whatever it may be, I'm going to show it to you now. And again, thank you, Teresa, for sending this to me. She mailed this because I literally could not fit it in my suitcase. And she's had a lot of things going on personal in her, you know, life with her fur baby. And I get it. Things are busy. And I've been so busy myself. And I've, you know, been trying to get this doggone cruise video out, and I'm thinking it's going to make it very, very soon. So if you're watching it, you know, now know. Okay, so here is this. Let me see if it, yeah, there's something else in here. There is 2 cards, but this is the fabulous blanket. Oh my gosh, and I think she washed it. Did you wash it or Febreze it or something? Okay, I'm not going to open it all the way up, but remember I told you it was like a silvery kind of Cinderella blue, not silverly, but it's just like a Cinderella blue, and it's just gorgeous. And I love this. I mean, this is going to be something I'm going to definitely be wrapping up in all winter long, because it is cold here in Georgia. Thank you for sending that to me, Teresa. And that was just one of the items, you know, that I told you that she was going to, that she handmade for me and she was going to send. And I'll go ahead, and I do have some other friend mail here too, but since this is just kind of like me popping in for the cruise video, I'm going to read these 2 right here. It's Wendy and Family, and this one here is Wendy. So Teresa, thank you very, very much. And oh my gosh, look at that. And I don't think she'd mind me saying it, but Teresa's already on another cruise with her family. She is a cruising gal. So when I say I went with the best person I could go with, yes, she knows what she's talking about when it comes to cruises. It says, wishing you joy this holiday season and a new year filled with love and laughter. Wendy, just a quick little happy holidays to you. Hope you have a fabulous new year. Who knows, you may meet that Mr. Right to whisk you away to the ocean, or whisk you away to the ocean. Okay. Love ya, girl, Teresa. Oh, that's so cute. And I'm glad that you sent me a Christmas card, and look for yours. It should be coming very, very soon. And yeah, I hope you are enjoying your cruise. That you are probably, if by the time I put this out, you probably have already returned, but she loves to cruise. And yeah, I hope I do meet that person, right? Okay, and this one was actually probably should have been before. It's Happy Thanksgiving, and I know it's been crazy. It says, sorry I'm so late on getting this to you. Well, anyways, the sentiment is the same. I get it. I do. We're all there. It says, Happy Thanksgiving. A little late, Teresa. Thank you so much for these, Teresa. And you know I love you, girl. And yeah, that was what I wanted to pop in this video. And I do want to just say, guys, this is my first cruise. Middle 50s. It was a experience of a lifetime for me. I know people out there have done a lot of cruises, and matter of fact, put in the comments at some point any tips on cruising, especially for people who, you know, are prone to get seasick. Yeah, just tell me where you've cruised to, what cruise lines do you, cruise on? And, where are all the places that you've been, and what is, maybe a memory or something that's like a wow moment that you went on your cruise. So what I'm showing you here is basically me just telling you from start to finish how I reacted. Now, one day in the future, would I be able to do maybe a better one when I'm not so sick? Oh yeah, absolutely. Yes, I definitely can film, more things, and I would be knowledgeable on what I could do. This one was just the first time let me figure out and actually have fun with it, and I did enjoy my time. Actually, I rested and I needed that rest. I really, really did. So guys, thank you so much. I'm going to get you back into the video. Again, Teresa, thank you. And it doesn't matter how late it is. I know your heart is wonderfully thinking about me because we're besties. And thank you once again for a fabulous trip. For my first cruise. You were a wonderful, wonderful host. All right. I love you, girl. And I love you all. Enjoy the rest of the video. And don't forget to like, share, comment. Bye, guys. So keeping with the theme of the pattern here. I mean, the pattern is just so pretty. She had this random little hand sanitizer bottle with a little holder that you can hook onto the purse here, or on your jeans or whatever. And you're going to need some hand sanitizer when you're on a cruise with a bunch of people. So that was so thoughtful. And then I didn't bring it down here with me, but I did take my purple Stanley that I got off Temu. And I chose to take purple because I had the Cinderella one and I had the Disney World one. And I had another couple of them, and I like the hot pink one. I said, I just think I want to take purple. And I'm so glad I did. I didn't even get to use this one because I didn't know she was getting me this. And she made this as well with the W. It all kind of goes together. She's just got them all, so creative and so nice in all the designs that she did. Also, I had mentioned to her that I didn't have a lanyard. And I didn't even get to use this either. I actually forgot about it. She's got a little W on it right here. I had the thing that pulls in and out. I don't know. It was like that little thing you snap on your thing and you put everything in there. It kind of pulls in and out. That's what I use for most of the time, which worked fine, but sometimes it was a little annoying. Oh, yes. I also got this too with that same pattern and the W, and I use this a lot. This is where I kept my cash and, my IDs and stuff like that. I sure did. And then she thing that she gave me as well. Guys, this right here, she handmade these pins, right, with the ducks. Can you see the little duck right there? Okay, and she made a lot of these, and she passed them out because she was actually hosting a contest for the door decorating contest. And I want to pop up the area that she decorated for our room. Also, she made a pin with a duck. These are so cute and so thoughtful. I mean, she thought of everything. And then there was this pin. And then there was this one here that had the little angel on it. And I thought those were so cute. Now, I will talk a little bit more about these in a minute, but I do want to tell you that I was blown away. This was Halloween night. She's giving me all this stuff. And I'm like, wow, you really took some time and energy and her money, because this, I'm sure this costs money. So thank you so much, Teresa. If I didn't tell you from the bottom of my heart, thank you for all this stuff. I really, really do appreciate. And here she got me some little toppers for the Stanley Cup. This one is a heart. This just came like in a little bag with this. And she got this keychain. Isn't that gorgeous? And it has a little butterfly right there on it that goes on your Stanley Cup. She got me this right here it's a Harry Potter homage, because she's my bestie and she knows me. So the first night, because we were pretty much walking around looking at things, we did go to the room and kind of unpacked. I will pop in a little video of the room, which was not an interior room. It was actually, Teresa actually got to upgrade it to one with a window. She did try to do the lowest floor in case, you know, to try to help with the seasickness. And we kind of went and explored, and, you know, of course we ate, and it was wonderful. And then she did the decorations for, I don't know if it was the first night or the second night, but this is actually the same thing that is on the front of the t-shirt, right? And it says Girls Gone Cruising, and it has the whole thing, but she blinged it up. And this is something that I can have for a memory forever and ever and ever, for my first ever cruise. So thank you, Teresa, for this. I'm never going to forget it. I'm going to tell you, I was so nervous, but again, you know, sometimes you just got to step out of your comfort zone, and you got to take chances, and I'm so glad I did. I had the best time. So also, she surprised me with several different things. One of the times I went to get ready to go out, and I got in the shower. When I came out of the shower, she had the room, and I didn't get a lot of filmage of that, but I'll try to pop in as much as I can. But she did send me home with this banner that said happy birthday. I don't even think you can see it all, but it was happy birthday with these beautiful colors. She had put different banners that, and she had different. And I was just blown away. I mean, I felt very special. Even the cabin steward, she actually got into it. They were making like different types of towel animals. I mean, it was unbelievable. I was just like, I felt very, very special. All right. So then once we got on the ship, I think it was the next day, you know, she was going around kind of passing out things, checking the doors for people who had, you know, signed up for the contest and all that stuff like that. So we were walking quite a bit, which was fine, but I had noticed that I was feeling a little weird. You know, I was starting to feel a little seasick. I don't think it was really, really bad, but we had went to Elegant Night. We dressed up, and Teresa had a beautiful navy blue dress. I had a gray dress, and literally they were, you know, we were worried about them being wrinkled, but they worked out. It was a really, really wonderful dinner. And but right after the night with the dinner, I started to get a little bit more sick. But I did have the NyQuil, and I started getting more seasick. And I did try to take the Dramamine, but the Dramamine made me so sleepy. So when we went to the shows and things like that, I was basically falling asleep. But all in all, I'm going to tell you, when we went out into the ports, we didn't do any excursions. I just wanted to sightsee, and I wanted to shop, but I don't know why I thought I wanted to shop, because I had no way to, you know, bring it back home in my suitcases. And Teresa was a sweetheart. She was like, well, if you get anything, I'll ship it to you, whatever. And I just really wanted to see Mexico. So we basically rented a little personal taxi cab, I guess is what you want to call it. And we went Mexico, and then we made it back to the ship. And then the next day we went into Progreso, and oh my goodness, those beaches were even. Got on the ship again, but by that time I was noticing that I was getting really, really sick when I would be in the cabin, and it would just be because I guess it was just rocking so much, and I was like, oh my gosh. So I wound up just saying, hey, let's kind of sit up at the top, walk around, do things, which we did. So I did spend a little bit of money on souvenirs and such on this trip, and I'm going to kind of show you a few things that I got out in the port of Mexico in Yucatan. I did stop by the pharmacy, and these kind of got banged up in my my travel case, looking for this doxycycline, if I'm saying that correctly. And this was for my son. Basically, it's just because he has HS, psoriasis, and sometimes he can't, you know, get to the doctor when it flares up and it's really bad. And I was, you know, kind of told you could pick up some of these things and they're a little bit more, you know, a little bit cheaper. I was leery, but after speaking with a couple of, you know, people around, they said that was their livelihood, that they're not going to really be selling you bad stuff at the actual stores. So these were $13 a pack, and I only picked up 2 of them because I, you know, want to make sure that they're, you know, what he needs. And this is what they look like. They're, you know, not been tampered with. And I thought it was a pretty good deal. I don't know what they cost here. I don't use it. I always have like amoxicillin and things like that. But he specifically mentioned these. And yeah, $13, I picked up that. The only other things that I really got out and about was, you know, some drinks. I think I got a Coke Zero and I got a water because it was hot, hot, hot. And I did get an ice cream, and we had a massage. So I didn't really have much time to shop. Oh, I did also buy some chocolate. They have a whole slew of chocolate things, and it's so expensive, but I do remember getting some chocolate. But on the ship, let me just tell you real quickly what I purchased. I did purchase one souvenir for my grandson, and it's this bad boy right here. It's basically the tail of the Carnival cruise, and it's a sippy cup. He's already used this many times. I had to wash it up so I could do this video. I want to say this was like $18, give or take. And then when I bought it, I thought, how in the heck am I going to get that home? And I somehow managed it. I sweated bullets, but I managed it. And then they took a lot of photos and pictures and all that, but I'd never bought any of them. I don't know. I just, at the last moment, I said, you know what? I don't know if it was because of the seasickness or what. I just kind of checked out like the last day or so. I just was like, oh my gosh, I don't want to think about it.
Arts and crafts, and we had the remembrance service happening in the American lobby this morning. Now we also have a trivia going on that right now at the American lobby, so you can join in on that as well. Now, fam, here's what's coming up today. So, well, actually this morning, some really activity.
Excuse me.
And first of all, coming up in just about 10 minutes time, we're going to start giving away those raffle tickets in the Ivanhoe Theater.
We did go to one store, and I did purchase this little bracelet here. The bracelet came with all these different charms. There's a anchor. This one has a palm tree. I don't know if you can see that. And then there's the little star. Then you have the actual ship. I don't know if you could actually see it, but that was the ship. And then there was this little dolphin right here on the end. The only thing about it is this, like, it has, you know, it's not that one that I wanted, that I might change these two that actually hooks, because this one will come, it actually comes off. I've noticed, because I had this on a couple times and it just will slip on off. But I liked it because it was like a cruise souvenir to myself. And this whole, all of these, it was the bracelet and the 5 charms, was $10. We did go up and check out the exercise room, the gym, the sauna area. I did get, you know, talked into speaking to someone about, you know, your health and things like that. And I am so glad that I did, because, you know, I started the video off talking about going and having a shot, and the shot, I don't even think it ever kicked in until like maybe the second or third day. It may have been because I was seasick and I just, you know, kept feeling everything. It was just a lot of different things going on. And I'm not complaining, guys. I really am not complaining. For the most part, it was a wonderful time. I ate plenty of good food. I saw plenty of great shows. I got to go into Mexico. I got to do some tequila tasting. I mean, it was a lot of this and a lot of that. I had a massage, and I, you know, just could check out the calm waters of the sea, plus the choppy waters of the sea, because there was a couple of days that it was just rocking and rolling. And I also got to hang out with my friend Teresa, and it was wonderful. But my leg was acting up because we had been doing a lot of walking, and I mean a lot. It was a lot. My Fitbit was going off. And what did I buy? That it was a splurge buy, but I'm gonna go ahead and talk about it because I'm going to tell you, I'm so glad that I did. I bought these arches by they're called Active by Good Feet, and the box is terrible because it had to come back home with me and it got beat up, but it wasn't looking like this when I purchased it. And basically they did these little, you know, testy kind of things that was talking about how you walk sometimes may cause some of the pains. There were, you know, I'm not going to say that this is, you know, I'm not trying to sell anything or whatever. I'm just telling you what I bought on my cruise. They go all about showing you, you know, what's what. And they sold me, honey. And the reason why they sold me is because I wear flip-flops. And I was like, oh, I can't do that because I'm a flip-flop wearing person. I also walk around barefoot all the time. But when they showed me the fact that these things, which I'll show you what it is, and I have really been using them too. This is what it looks like. It's just an arch. And I do have a flat foot. So when I say I know arches are important, and even this is a Croc flip-flop is one of the things I took there. It has a small arch, but nothing like this. So when I said I wear flip-flops, she popped out this package and she pulled off these little Velcro strips, and she popped it in my shoe. And I stood on it and she did this little test where the first time when we did the test, I kind of come forward because I walk on my toes apparently. And when I had this on here, I didn't go forward. I was kind of walking properly. And I said, you know what, as you know, I need a miracle. I'll try anything. And then she told me the price, and I'm not going to tell you right here, but it was very pricey for 2. And I was like, yeah, I don't think so. That's even for me, that's a little bit out of my range, even though I do believe what she was telling me. Good arch support is pretty good. Well, anyway, of course, like any great salesperson, she comes down, you know, tremendously, like almost half of what that was quoted. And I came home and looked them up. And if you purchase these, and of course, if you have insurance, I don't know if insurance pays for it, you might can get, you know, go to the orthopedic doctor and, you know, talk about it and have your insurance pay for it. But if you don't, and you just look at this and go get treated for it, it's anywhere from $450 to $599 for a pair of arches. And I didn't pay nowhere near that, so that made me feel really good. That's a good thing, is because you can change these out. You can put them in your tennis shoes, you can put them, you know, in your house shoes, you can put them in your dress shoes, and, you know, it's a patent. So I went ahead and, you know, I splurged, and I want to tell you, my leg pain has been better. I'm not going to say it was completely because of this, because of course I did have that cortisone shot, but I will tell you, when I do wear them, I do feel like it doesn't ache as bad. Now, I'm, again, not a doctor. I'm not selling you anything. I'm just telling you, you know, what happened to me. After about of me wearing them every single day, because you have to kind of slowly, you know, wear them like an hour or two, and then you build up to it. But after a while, after I continue to wear them, if they work, I'll come back. I might even reach out to these people and, you know, see if I can, you know, get some more information, because man, sometimes you got to splurge on yourself, right? All right. With that said, my thoughts on my first cruise, because that wrapped it up. Basically, on the last day, smooth as pie. We were in and out. We were out of the ship. Because the night before they do ask you to put your suitcases out, and we were out of the ship by 8:30 a.m. on the last day. And Teresa dropped me off to the airport because she had to get back home. Her cat Mika had a situation happen while we were gone. It was, pretty bad, and she was, anxious to get back home. So she dropped me off. I went back into the airport, and let me tell you, New Orleans airport is nothing like Delta in Atlanta. It was like I'm not gonna say they were rude, but they did not want to help you whatsoever. And I had a little bit of time to kill because my flight was scheduled for later in the day because I didn't know if we were going to do anything, in New Orleans when we came back. So I went on standby and got on the very next flight, but I also used that Clear. So when I found out that I could use the Clear, I just changed my time of my flight, went on standby. It was so perfect. I walked, they took my photo, sent me through, checked my bags, got on the plane, and literally, I was in a middle seat. I was supposed to be, if I would have waited till my actual flight, I would have been on a window seat, but I was on a window seat going, on the first night on Halloween, dark. I took a little picture here and there, but it was no big deal. So I was on a middle seat, but I had two really nice ladies, on the side of me. One slept the whole time, and the other one was on her iPad the whole time. So it was just awesome. I watched a movie while I was on there. It was just fun. So anyway, getting back into Atlanta, I was right back at it. So what did I learn from my first cruise, and what do I think about my first cruise? It was wonderful. It was something that I'm very proud of. I'm proud that I took the opportunity to take this trip. It went smoothly. I'm just a person who gets seasick. Next time I will test out maybe some different patches way before I will get on another cruise. All right, guys, that was the cruise. I hope that, you like this kind of video. Of course, I went into it thinking I was going to do a whole vlog of everything like this and that because I did pay for the internet package, which is extra. But once, I got there, I realized, I think I just need to vacation. I think I need to calm down. I'm not feeling the greatest. Let me see what's going on. And maybe in the future, I can get some actual footage on the ship and, do all those professional videos where they show you every single thing. But take it from me, it was a great opportunity and a great experience and something I am never, ever going to forget. And I got to thank you, Miss Teresa, for, asking me to, tag along with you. All right, guys, like, share, comment. Thank you again for hanging out with me through this video. And I, again, appreciate you from the bottom of my heart. And if you're new and you're just watching this for the first time, go ahead and click that subscribe bell. There's more videos like this to come. See ya.